Today we're hacking a box cake mix and making this bright, summery lemon cake. So good.
Delicious.
That's beautiful.
Isn't it gorgeous?
We did good, man.
This is amazing. I'm excited to try this. Wow.
There's two types of people in this world, those who eat to live and those who live to eat. We're Paul and Benny, and we live to eat.
Some people don't like using box cake mix, but if you're like me, baking a cake from scratch is a little bit daunting and can be slightly scary. So I stick with using a box cake mix.
Right, if you're not used to doing it all the time, making a cake from scratch can be a lot, right? And there's nothing wrong with using a box cake mix.
Good.
All right, it's not that much easier than making it from scratch. It's just pre-measured dry ingredients. However, there are a couple benefits for beginners. One is the convenience. You make a lot less mess measuring out dry ingredients, getting out the flour, getting out the sugar, getting out measuring cups, measuring spoons, a lot less dishes to wash, and guess who doesn't like washing dishes? The second benefit of using a box cake mix is its consistency. Making a cake from scratch takes some practice, and ingredients can differ from brand to brand, from time of year, from when you bought them, how long they've been in the cupboard. So a box cake mix usually gives you the same quality of cake every time. Especially if you need to make 4 or 5 dozen cupcakes for that birthday party, you want them all to come out the same, right?
Yeah, that birthday party you overcommitted to, you're like, yeah, I'll take care of that.
And we've all made dry cupcakes before.
Yes, I have.
So let's keep in mind, Benny, we're not fooling anyone with these box cake mix hacks. It's not gonna taste like a cake from scratch, but it's gonna be really good cake and everyone's gonna love it.
Hashtag keep it real.
Keep it real. Ready to hack it?
Let's hack it.
So we're gonna hack it in 3 ways. We're gonna make sure it's not dry. We're gonna make sure it has a really good texture. We're gonna make sure it has great flavor. We're gonna take that baby from the ground floor to the 5th floor. Ding.
Ding. Let's talk about my dry cupcakes. How do I make sure that that doesn't happen again?
One way to prevent dry cake or cupcakes is to increase the moisture.
Like add water?
Not hydration. When we say moisture, we mean fat.
Okay.
You can replace the water that the box mix calls for with milk, buttermilk, and you can even replace half the water with some sour cream. But I do want to talk to you about replacing oil with butter. Okay, I'm going to get a little serious for a second. Everyone wants a buttery flavor to their cake, but butter does have some water in it which evaporates, and butter also changes consistency when it's hot and when it's cold. If you want to have a buttery flavor to your cake, only replace half of the oil with melted butter. This will ensure that you still get the moisture from the oil, but the great texture and flavor of the butter.
So you want me to put in buttermilk, sour cream, all that stuff into my cake?
No, not all of them. So these are all hacks. So you should choose one. Do you want to replace the water with buttermilk, or do you want to put some sour cream?
So it's one, not all.
One, not all. You put too much oil and you're gonna have a really oily cake. But we just wanna increase the fat level a little bit so it tastes a little more homemade.
I see, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was a little scared there for a second.
It's okay, that's how we learn.
Okay, so my cakes won't be dry. Now what about the texture?
Good question. There's a couple ways you can make sure you have a really good textured cake. Box cake mixes tend to be really light and airy, and they almost dissolve in your mouth when you eat the cake. And that's not what you want from a good quality cake. You want there to be some denseness, some texture to it. So we can improve the texture of our cake in a couple ways. We can give more density with either protein or with starch. So I'm a big fan of adding extra egg to my cake mix. I'm also a big fan of adding a package of instant pudding mix or stovetop pudding mix, whichever you prefer. There's cornstarch in there, which is gonna hold things together a little tighter, also provide some great flavor. You can also improve the density of your cake by adding a tablespoon or 2 of flour. Don't get carried away, but make it a thicker batter to where it's not so runny, so when it bakes up, there's a lot more texture to it, like you made it from scratch.
So my cakes are not gonna be dry. They're gonna have an excellent texture.
Excellent.
Now flavor, and this one's important to me at least. I don't like buying cakes from the store because they have that artificial flavor.
They do.
And I don't want that in my cake mix. What do I do?
Right, so there's a few things you can do. I always recommend adding at least a teaspoon of vanilla. You don't have to stop with vanilla. You could use almond extract, you could use lemon zest or your favorite citrus with the juice. You could add some espresso if it's a coffee or chocolate flavored cake. You could add some spices like cinnamon or nutmeg, depending what flavor you're going for. I like to add even a little orange blossom water or rose water. There's so many flavors you can add that you won't find in a boxed cake mix, but there's one thing you always need to do to up your flavor level, and that is add salt. You don't need to add a whole bunch of flavoring to your cake. You need to add a little flavor and a little salt, which brings out the flavor when it hits your tongue. And I want to give credit for that pro tip to Chef Jasmine of Seuss Pastries, who taught me if I want to make great chocolate chip cookies, I need to up that vanilla and up the salt. And I've just adopted that for everything I bake.
Hashtag shout out.
Hashtag we love you, Jasmine.
My cakes aren't dry. They got excellent texture. The flavors are off the charts. What's next?
Let's bake.
Let's bake. Today we're making a 3-layer lemon cake with pink lemonade filling. It's bright flavor with just the right amount of sweetness.
Yum. And here's the ingredients we used. We have our favorite box cake mix, 1 pack of instant pudding mix, oil and water as called for by the recipe, 3 eggs, 1/2 cup sour cream, the juice and zest of 1 lemon, a big pinch of salt, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Here are the hacks we're using today. We're adding 1 extra egg. We're also adding sour cream. Be sure to look for real sour cream at the grocery store. If you look at the label, a lot of them have water and starch and gums. What we're looking for here is fat. The ingredient should basically be cream. We also are adding the lemon and the zest and the salt and vanilla to really up that flavor.
This sounds like it's gonna be a delicious cake. I can't wait.
It's gonna be so good. So let's get started. We start by adding our cake mix and our pudding mix to the bowl, along with our oil and water, which we already have in a measuring cup. And we're gonna blend it with our electric mixer. If you don't have one, a whisk will work fine. Then one at a time, add your eggs and your sour cream. Be sure to scrape down the sides of your bowl as you go. Then add your salt, vanilla, and your lemon juice and zest.
Wow, that cake batter looks so luscious.
Yes, it's definitely gonna make a good cake. I've buttered and floured 3 cake pans so our cake will come out really easily, and I'm using a measuring cup to try and put the same amount of batter into each pan so we get even layers. Now we baked the cake at the same temperature the box called for, but I baked it way less time because we have 3 layers instead of 2. Since the layers are much thinner, I only baked them like 18 minutes. We let the cake cool completely, and here's one more way you can really take this cake up a notch. Add a good filling to your cake. You can get the tub of frosting and spread it all over your cake, and you can spread it between the layers. But why not surprise someone and put something really delicious in between your cake layers?
And guess what we used? Did you see our Kool Aid Pie video?
We used the same recipe from the pie filling to fill our cake. We just chose pink lemonade flavor.
And the link to the video is below.
We kept the icing on this cake super simple. If you wanted a more fancy cake, you could definitely do that, but it's already over 100 degrees here in Phoenix. And we're transporting this cake later in the day. The filling's already pretty sweet, right? So we don't want to add any sweetness. We just put some Cool Whip on top of it. A light, summery lemon cake with some Cool Whip. Can't go wrong with that.
And now let's eat.
Let's.
All right, Paul, this looks amazing. You did a good job.
It came out way better than I expected. I knew the pink and yellow would go nicely together, but it looks like summertime on my plate.
So excited. Let's try this.
Ready? Oh my God.
Oh my God. Wait, Paul, we forgot to do a cheers.
Ding! That's like straight lemon, right?
Wow. Oh my God.
So good. It's like citrus in your cake.
So when I said bright cake, wow, this is just like made me happy. I need my sunglasses to eat this cake.
Basically, right? That pink lemonade filling really just brightens everything up.
Gosh.
The orange zest and lemon juice really help the lemon flavor, but a good filling between the cake, that's really nice.
This is a cake you can be proud to take to your next get-together. This is amazing. Wow. It's like so citrusy, like all of it. Like it's just so good. I'm gonna eat all of this.
Next time you need a cake, be confident using a box cake mix. With these cake hacks, everyone's gonna love it. I love lemon cake to begin with, but I really love this.
This is so good. Honestly, when we put the whipped topping, I was a little unsure, but because the cake is so rich now and that filling's so like thick, that light topping, oh my God, it just like brings it all together. I love this.
It really works.
This cake is absolutely delicious. Let us know down in the comments which cake hacks you use. And if you like this video and want to see more like it, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we have more videos.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Benny.
And as always, we're grateful for this lemon cake.
It's absolutely delicious. And we're grateful for you watching.
Bye. We're gonna take this baby from the ground floor to the 5th floor. Ding. Elevate it. Sorry.
That was cute.
Feels silly. That's silly. You can cut that.
Oh, that's fun.